Recon Athlete Podcast is brought to you by Kreitz Market, The Social, and Focus Fit San Marcos. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 107. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez. Shout out to Zach Lucetto. Hopefully he got his tire fixed. Do you know if he got his tire fixed?
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope he didn't have another flat.
If you missed 106 Saturday morning, Zach had a little car trouble. He had a flat tire coming out of his parking lot. And, Paul and I were debating on whether or not Zach could change a tire.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I think we were doing a little bit more than there was some high speculation going on there.
I mean, so the story was that he looked, in the back in his trunk, and the story was that there was a well there that, that
had the shape
that
of its
had
spare.
the shape of a spare, but there was no spare available. So I mean, I guess I'll go with that. I guess I'll roll with that.
We don't have any other choice.
No, I mean, we were gonna try to
look,
and if he shows up tonight, then we'll go investigate, and make sure that
you got to have a spare. I mean, for situations worse than just trying to come to a show.
Yeah.
Like if there's an emergency, you really need to have a spare tire.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully Zach will show up, or he can give us a call. And get on episode 107. All right, we're going to talk some college football week 2, NBA playoffs. Of course, we got NFL Thursday night, tomorrow night. NFL finally on tap. It's on deck now. Mm-hmm. And then there he is. And then we'll talk. He
was standing outside the door.
He's listening to us talk. Ish about him. He did bring some tacos. He didn't bring us none though. That's okay. And he got a Coca-Cola as well. Is that a Mexican Coke? Yeah.
Is it a glass bottle?
It's a glass bottle.
It is.
Hey, you get that tire fixed, dog? All right, I'll let you get settled before we start asking about those questions. And then we'll talk some high school football, of course, week 3.
Week 3 for 4A, 3A, yep.
4A, 3A. 5A and 6A on tap.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Scrimmages next week.
Scrimmages, and then the practices have started.
First training was Monday.
Yeah. I know Snoop went down to Bowie last night, I think it was.
Man, he's been all over.
He's been going all over the place. That's probably why he's sleeping right now, because he's been going all over the place. What up, Zach Lucetto?
What up?
You got to turn
Mic's off.
You got to turn your mic on. So you get that tire fixed or what?
Yeah, man. $500 later.
No.
Yeah, for real.
Did you buy a brand new tire?
You buy all new brand tire. All new tires.
So Saturday morning, woke up to a flat tire.
Right.
Signed up for AAA to get it towed, $70 for the year, which I guess is like an expense that I probably should have been making anyways.
And that's not bad.
That's like a good thing to have,
Yeah.
So take it to Lambs, because Lambs is like only a mile down the road. So take it to Lambs. Dude tells me I need 4 new tires.
Of course he did.
So I was like, all right. He said the front 2, like the flat one, and the other one were like worse than like state inspection, whatever. So I was like, all right, well, I'll do the front 2. It's like $81 a tire. And then dude calls me after he has a car for like an hour. It's like, all right, you need an alignment. That'll be $100. I was like, all right. And then I get I go to pay, and it's like $433 for 2 tires and an alignment.
All right.
Educate him, Chris.
All right, Zach. All right. How long you had that car?
Probably like 3 years.
Did you hear what that mechanic told him?
Yeah.
That nonsense about his tires are below inspection.
Yeah.
3
3 years?
Yeah.
But it was brand new when you bought it, right?
No, it was used.
Oh, it was used? Were the tires used?
I would assume so.
Okay. All right.
So do you know?
I mean, if they took the spare tire out, they definitely didn't give me no new tires.
Do you know the penny test?
I don't keep change. It's a coin shortage.
Well, that proves my point even more.
There is a coin shortage going on.
Yeah, quote unquote.
We'll
give you some life lessons after the show.
Yeah,
I
it was
guess,
$433 for them to do alignment and 2 tires.
Yeah, you got took, son.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
All right, but you good now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you getting better.
$500 to half a G later, I'm back on the road.
You getting better gas mileage now, though? Have you noticed that?
I haven't noticed.
Are your tires properly inflated?
And so I signed up for AAA on Saturday, which is the day that I got the tire.
All right.
When I had the flat tire. If you use AAA the same day that you get it, it's like $75 extra.
Yeah.
So that's Saturday. Sunday, the tire place is closed. So I had to wait until Monday to even get it fixed. So I only been on the road for like 2 days.
But you didn't have to pay the extra $75.
Correct.
Okay, good. All right. Well, at least he did that part right.
Yeah.
All right.
Usually,
what kind of
usually roadside's built into your insurance.
Yeah. What kind of tires did you get?
I don't know the cheapest one that he offered.
The $81 ones.
Yeah.
Dang, man. You should have got some. If you were going to drop money, you might as well just kind of, got you some Michelins or something.
Well, yeah,
Some Toyo.
the next one up was like $160 a piece.
Toyo.
I was like, dang, I don't even have that much money.
Yeah, all the bills you pay for.
Yeah, dude, whatever, man. You got plenty of money, dude. You just cheap, man.
I went to the bank and took out like $400 in cash.
Yeah.
And like before I went and paid at Lamb's, and so he's like ringing me up, and I'm like reaching in my pocket for the $400 in cash to pay with that. And then he tells me, and I'm like, well, let me take my hand out of my pocket because it's not even enough.
I was gonna flex real quick.
Yeah.
Thought he was.
He was like, I was gonna be like, you could count it.
Yeah, it's $400 cash money, dog.
No, he got you. I'm sorry, but he got you on that alignment. That's the biggest one.
Alignment for what?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he said I needed one.
Was the wheel like upside down, or was it like?
Okay,
was it just like at 11 o'clock?
I thought if you're not touching the wheel, if your car doesn't go straight, then like something's up. My car's not going straight now that I got the alignment.
Right.
And did you get the lifetime alignment?
No, I got the cheapest one, the 1 year one.
Bro.
It was like, I recommend the $7,000 one for 10 years.
He probably got like a 15-20% commission off that tab.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all right, man. You'll know for now. This is the future. These are all life lessons that you'll go through. You haven't had to do it yet. So now that you know, you'll know next time. So, yeah, it's all right, though. You'll be good. You'll be good. I mean, I've been through it. You
got 4 safe tires in this rain. That's a positive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, all right, Recon Athlete 107, Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Luceto in the house. Got his tires all fixed up. College football week 2 coming up. I tried to start watching week 1 last week.
How'd that go?
I mean, that first game, Eastern Kentucky and Marshall.
Bro, it was a blowout.
So I watched like the first.
Better than the BYU one.
I watched the
Texas State
game was good. Yeah. I watched the first quarter and a half, maybe,
of that
Eastern Kentucky Marshall that was on.
Yeah.
I mean, that got brutal real quick. Yeah. And I was doing some stuff, so I've been helping at the restaurants. They got me waiting tables over there, and so I got my food handler's license.
Okay.
And I got my TABC certification.
Man, you can slang drinks now.
I can. Yeah.
I don't know why you're looking at me. Me.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, man.
You can eat.
Yeah, you can eat.
I'm not gonna be ever ordering no TAB.
That's true. So I can get behind the bar if I need to. I can.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, shaken, not stirred.
Paul, how many times has Central Arkansas played? Like 3 times already.
I think twice for sure. They were like the first 2 games of the season.
Central Arkansas, yeah, they lost to UAB 45-35, so they,
that was actually more competitive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Last Thursday, I was kind of a little bit shocked because Central Arkansas's, I don't even think they're FBS.
Oh, they're
FCS, right?
FCS, yeah.
And so to hang around UAB like that was pretty impressive. But
Central Arkansas is pretty good.
They are. They're like they're a come from behind kind of team. So. I mean, we're gonna see UAB tomorrow night.
Me and Chris are big Central Arkansas guys. We had them over Austin P. We just didn't hit up.
We need to get up on that Bet Online or whatever, betonline.com, whatever. SMU 31-24 over Texas State. Texas State looked pretty good.
You know what I don't like? When there's a highlight and they say something of the year candidate, like that catch in the end zone. Yeah, but there's going to be better catches or as good a catches.
Which catch are we talking about?
It's like the second game of the year, but still.
Which catch are we talking about?
The one-handed one in like the back corner of the end zone by Texas State.
Yeah, it was like late in the second quarter. It was like right before halftime. It was a back shoulder fade, but it didn't turn out like that. Mm-hmm. He just literally stuck his hand out and brought it in.
So catch of the year, quote unquote.
Yeah, a nominee.
All right.
But yeah, Texas State, I mean, they're pulling a little bit of what SMU's doing right now is bringing in talent who's transferring from other, mid-major programs. Like their quarterback, Brady McBride, transferred in from Memphis. And then they had, I think, one of their running backs, he transferred in from Arizona State. So they look pretty competitive. We'll just see how that fares with that rivalry game this weekend against UTSA.
Yeah, and so, I mean, as a Texas State fan, you watched that game, right, Paul?
Bro, I watched all of it.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, so you're as a fan, you excited about Texas State moving forward? Like, what you got on tap for the rest of the season?
To quote Sean Rutherford, who played at Texas State, he played quarterback. He's a quarterback coach right now in the Austin area. He said, we finally look like a D1 program. And I was like, that was probably the most honest opinion about what Texas State's looked like since Spavital's got there. Because last year they just didn't have the quarterback.
Right.
Now they have kind of like a dual threat, Manziel-esque kind of quarterback who can get the ball out. He just has a lot of, he can make better decisions, but he's young. I mean, he's only going to be a redshirt freshman right now. So we'll see if Brady McBride can get things on going. But I like the way they look. They look really strong. They look competitive. And against someone like SMU last year, who I think they won like 5 or 6 games in a row without a loss, playing in the American, I think is pretty good showing for Texas State, especially at home, because 1 or 2 balls go a different way, like a turnover doesn't go against them, they're in the game to probably win the game. And if they can get the kicking game on point, first play of the game, first drive down, they kick a field goal and they miss it.
Yeah.
So that was important too. That was playing in late in the game. The game could have been tied, but it didn't end up that way. And then SMU kind of took over and got that 7-point lead late into the game that way.
I mean, do you feel like, because Texas State, obviously, they get a lot of, local talent, right? I mean, and across Texas, but there's a lot of, local kids, and even SMU had a lot of local kids, I'm talking about Austin area kids. Do you feel like, because I feel like the more talent, the better the talent gets here in the Austin area, in the Central Texas area, South Texas, Super Centex. Do you feel like that Texas State is going to get, that much better getting those type of players?
Once they get established, I think right now they're still looking for stability, and that's why they keep pulling in these transfers to kind of come to Texas State to play, because they've kind of already established themselves as quality players. And I think that's what the foundation needs to be laid, and that's what's going on now. But as we move forward, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Texas State tries to, pluck a couple of 3-star guys from the Houston area. If there's a couple of 4-star kids who maybe have an attachment or a tie to Texas State, like their dad played there or their dad coached there, they may go down there. But, I mean, it's really hard to compete with recruiting when you have Texas in your back door or in your back porch.
Yeah.
So it's really hard with that. And you're also competing against UTSA at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they're playing in a bigger conference than you are in the Sun Belt. So with that being added, I mean, there's tons of schools all over Texas. I think that's kind of why right now they're leaning on the transfers.
So yeah, and I kind of like partially agree and partially disagree with what you said, because I don't think that Texas State, and this is how I felt at UIW too, and I think they're very kind of similar situations. Obviously, Texas State is going to have better players because they're an FBS school, but like I because of you're in the state of Texas where you're surrounded by so many other Division I football programs, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Texas Christian, like all these places. Those 3-star, those high 2-star guys are gonna go to those bigger programs if they have the opportunity to. Like it's flat out. Like if you were gonna go to if you had an offer from Texas State and then you like got a walk-on spot at like Texas, there's like a big chance that you would go to Texas, even though like if you have ties to Texas State, whatever. So I think it's a very good lane to try to play, to try to be that like kind of fallback school for transfers and to kind of build your talent like that. Because if you look at some of the more successful lower level schools or FCS level schools, even a lot of times they're in a place that there's not many other colleges.
Right.
Like Memphis, there's not many. Like, what other schools are you going to go to in Tennessee other
Vanderbilt?
Other than Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Like, it's not. So you're going to have a hard time just building your team off of local talent, as sad as that is to say. So I think trying to kind of, and I mean, if you watch like the FCS national championship, it's all transfers.
Right.
How all those guys are like, oh, this person can't. It's almost like last chance you. And I think that's a smart kind of avenue for Texas State to play as well, because they aren't going to be able to reap the same benefits of local recruiting as some of the other schools that they're playing.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is where Texas State is at a big disadvantage is like for the quality athletes who are like in the Rio Grande Valley and Laredo area along the Rio Grande border, those kids kind of funnel real easily to UTSA because they play in a bigger conference. And so I think you're at a disadvantage when you're trying to recruit the state of Texas with the all Power 5 schools. And then with UTSA, I think it's a real big disadvantage right there. But if Spavital can figure it out, and if Spavital can go to a few bowl games, that's how you can start getting that recruiting to turn over and get into your advantage.
Yeah. And I think something really big for all the Texas area schools that aren't FBS or that aren't like big time schools is they need to play each other. If you're gonna succeed in recruiting in Texas, you have to play each other. Yeah. Like UTSA beating UIW was huge for them, because now like they'll settle that argument forever, because they'll never play again, more than likely, because why would you want to play again? Because if you by chance lose to UIW, then that's a huge chunk of your recruiting pool that's now looking at UIW differently. So like if Texas State would have beat SMU, a lot of those Dallas area kids that aren't going to go to the big schools that they dreamt of going, and they're like, well, maybe I'll just stay home and go to SMU. All of a sudden they're like, well, what about Texas State? Maybe I could go there. So I think obviously the bigger schools don't like playing each other because of that same reason. But for the smaller schools, I think I think you have to do it in order to recruit locally.
So, I mean, but even with the competitiveness that they played, Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that helped Texas State. I mean, they
tremendously.
You didn't win the game.
That would never be a game that you would even think of being close as a Texas State fan.
It was
Right.
it was a 21-point spread.
Yeah.
That game, and they won and SMU won by 7.
Yeah. And so, you're a kid, you're a freshman or sophomore right now, you're starting to get recruited. You all of a sudden you get a letter from, get an envelope from Texas State. Well, I just saw them play against SMU. They didn't win the game
On ESPN.
But, they played competitively, and, maybe there's a future there.
Because you're already starting to correlate something with Texas State that's not what everyone correlates Texas State football with, which is not good.
Yeah.
So what are the FBS schools, the non-Power 5 FBS schools in Texas? North Texas, SMU, Texas State,
UTSA.
Is that it?
UTEP?
UTEP.
Yeah.
Rice.
Yes, and Rice.
How would you rank those schools?
It's hard to right now. It's hard to say because we haven't seen Love and play. But
I mean, I think that's even better. That's even better.
Program?
Just as like what you think in your head when you think of those schools. Probably SMU first.
Probably SMU first. Yeah.
Maybe North Texas or Rice second and third.
I would say Rice, just because North Texas has just recently started to have. I mean, for a while North Texas was a doormat.
But I think right now, if you're a kid,
like this
you
year,
think of North Texas higher than you think of Rice.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then like middle of the pack is definitely going to be Texas State. But before, like it was 3 years ago when they were literally the worst team in the FBS.
Yeah,
they were literally
now it's actually like UTEP. Now they're like one of the worst teams.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I mean, maybe.
So okay, so
maybe
if we pluck a random football player and we ask them, would you rather go to UTSA or Texas State? I wonder what the more common answer is.
Where are you pulling that kid
from? Austin.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a wait. I mean, UTSA has ties to Lake Travis too, so that's another kind of
right. But
qualifier.
I wonder if because it used to be Texas State was like trash. Like if you thought of Texas State football, like you wouldn't want to go there.
No.
Well, I mean, depends on what you're talking about. But overall, yes.
But I don't think that the nomenclature of UTSA brings much more than.
I mean, it's hard to think that because they just produced a first-round draft pick like 4 years ago.
That is true, actually. So I think that probably helps a lot. So then maybe it would be UTSA then.
I mean, it's one thing if you're gonna like poll kids, that may be one thing, but I think right now Texas State has the better head coach and probably the better staff out of the two. But I mean, do you want to go live and party in San Antonio, or do you want to do it in San Marcos? Those are kind of questions. That lifestyle is something.
And I think the college lifestyle of Texas State rings more familiar with Austin area high school kids than
Right.
UTSA does.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's a college town. San Marvelous is a college town. You know, I mean, San Antonio's a great town
If
too.
we're talking about like 1604 and I-10 area, Desavalla area, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where UTSA is.
yeah, you go to Fiesta, Texas.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I mean, literally, it's literally across the street, but no.
Yeah. Still, you wouldn't go. I mean, I used to love going to Fiesta,
I'd
Texas.
rather go to practice.
I don't know. Me and BJ used to go to Fiesta, Texas all the time. Back in the day, we go hang out in the.
Shout out BJ. Remember when he didn't call in the show?
Yeah. We could go hang out in the little, what's it called, the German brew house, the one that they
I
got
don't know.
there.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. They would do like they'd have like shows and stuff, and me and BJ we were like 22, 23, and we'd just be over there like slamming beers and then go get on roller coasters. We're like, eh. I worked for an old company that had their work parties there. But North Texas, I mean, 57-31, I mean, 57 spot. I mean, of course it was Houston Baptist,
Yeah.
but that's big for their program. You know, I mean, we're talking about, you know, the impression that these schools have made. You know, I mean, and it's a great time for schools like this to make an impression on kids because there are no other games going on.
Right.
So, you know, this is the time to make an impression on any kind of, you know, 3-star kid out there looking at schools, and North Texas dropping a 57 spot is good for North Texas.
And they always kind of have, or at least as of late, have been known as like the offensive, like powerhouse school. Like if you're a quarterback, like receiver, like North Texas is a good place to be. And I also don't know that the average like football fan, I mean, I'm pretty sure the average football fan doesn't understand like the difference in recruiting between a Houston Baptist and a North Texas.
Yeah.
Like the kid that North Texas is getting on scholarship is like it's never thinking about going to Houston Baptist.
No, not at all. Week 2 starting tomorrow, UAB in Miami. You know, so the
Miami.
Canes. Miami.
Manny Diaz last year.
I don't think so.
Was he on the hot seat?
Not with Derek King at quarterback.
I think a lot of
He on the hot seat?
I think a lot of coaches' jobs were saved by
COVID.
COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
Tom Herman's one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Heldon at USC, Manny Diaz, I think is one. Because I don't think many coaches are going to get fired after this year, whether you play or not.
But this is only Manny Diaz's like second year.
Yeah, but they were so bad last year.
I mean, they weren't.
They were
way-
bad
they
on
weren't
they were
last.
bad on defense last year, which is even worse.
That's bad for him as being a defensive minded coach.
So, yeah, UAB, Miami. So, this is UAB's second game. Not sure who they beat the first game. Who it was? Central Arkansas, 45-35. So, this will be their second game. This will be a short week for them, though. So, you know, Miami might have a advantage on that. So, that'll be tomorrow night. That's going to be going up against the NFL football game. So, we'll see what kind of
And the NBA playoffs.
and the NBA playoffs.
I don't know what the hell the NBA was thinking.
Yeah, so we'll see what kind of viewership that UAB Miami game has. But Saturday early games, we got Louisiana Lafayette and Iowa State. We got Big 12 action. Eastern Kentucky and West Virginia. Syracuse and UNC. It's a big game. Like just to have two schools that are, have names at least that people recognize. That's at 11 a.m. Arkansas State, Kansas State's 11 a.m. Charlotte and Appalachian State, 11 a.m.
Is the Kansas State game on TV?
It's on looks
Fox.
like Fox.
Yep, it's on Fox. Why, you got somebody you're trying to watch there?
I don't know. I mean, Kansas State's in the Big 12. I think a lot of people don't really know about Kansas State, if they're going to be any good this year. And they have the coach, Bill Snyder's son, right?
Really?
Is that his head coach, or is he like a coordinator there?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Louisiana, I don't know. Do you mean to look?
No,
Google
it's
it.
not- I guess it's not that important.
Louisiana Monroe and Army played at 12:30. There's a lot of games Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Duke Notre Dame at 1:30. I'll just go over the one. I'll go over the one that's catch my eye. I'm not going to talk about Campbell and Georgia Southern, even though I just did. UTSA and Texas State at 2:30. That's the big rivalry game. You going to go to the game?
No,
No,
man.
you're still not going. Georgia Tech, Florida State, 2:30 as well.
that one's
game,
on ESPN.
That's gonna be on ABC.
nationally televised.
Yeah, that's ABC. Oklahoma in action. Are they playing Saturday?
Missouri State.
State.
Yeah.
That game is not.
That's the pay-per-view one.
Okay, yeah, it's pay-per-view. I don't see that.
It's on the OU channel.
Clemson and Wake Forest. That's going to be on ABC. That's going to be at 6:30. Let's see. Of course, everyone that we probably know is going to be watching the Longhorns play on the Longhorn Network at 7 o'clock Saturday night. UTEP Miners visiting the Texas Longhorns. And I'm not even going to talk about any of these other ones. Houston Baptist taking on Texas Tech. Yeah, Houston Baptist is just trying to beat themselves up. Huh?
That's good for them, though.
They're
These big games.
They're collecting checks.
Yeah, that's true. So UTEP and Texas, I'm sure we'll talk more about that game on Saturday morning. But college football in full effect.
Fans in the stands.
Grateful for what we get.
Fans in the stands.
At the Texas game, there's fans in the stands.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
I don't know. I think the Hornets giving away tickets.
Are they really?
I think so.
Snoop, give me some tickets. 7 o'clock game. I can't make that. I'll be working. Dang.
I was gonna say I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, Snoop, hook me up. Tell Craig Way. Craig, you on the watch party? Nah, he's not on the watch party. But yeah, so far, I think I'm excited. There's no like, I'm like, I guess conservatively.
Are you afraid that what's gonna happen? Like
if there's a breakout, like an outbreak or something.
To the
I'm
La
just
Tech game where they just like shut it down today.
Yeah.
That's what you're concerned.
I'm concerned
That's fair.
about an
Oklahoma
outbreak.
State.
And then like everything getting shut down again and blah blah blah. So I'm like, like very conservatively excited. I want to kind of hold
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I hate that word or hate that saying, but yeah, cautiously optimistic. I am.
Yeah, that La Tech Baylor game was the one that just got shut down this week or today. I'm not quite sure, but I really wanted to see. I wanted to see Charlie Brewer in action. I wanted to see him come back for his senior year.
Was it shut down on Baylor side or La Tech
on
side?
La Tech? They're the ones who had the an outbreak, and so I don't know if that was recent, if it was in the past week, or if it was yesterday, or when it was. But they decided to go ahead and postpone the game. So Baylor 1 game short. I wish there was like teams like on call. You could just be like, hey, we need you to go to Baylor on this day, and make Wednesday like the deadline. Oh yeah, we're gonna bring in, we always pick on Tarleton State. We're gonna call Tarleton State in to replace Louisiana Tech against Baylor.
What if there was like a pool of like Big Ten and Pac-12 players that just stayed ready, and so you're playing La Tech, and we're like, okay, we need a lower level team for this Saturday, and they just pick like the mid depth chart guys from those teams and just put them all together and make a made up team and play.
Man, F that. What if they were just like the Big Ten All Stars? And they just went to go play.
Yeah, but you wouldn't replace that with the La Tech game.
I would. Let's see him. Let's put that puppy on the field and see what happens.
That's funny. Shout out to Steven Anguiano's. He's saying he's asking if there's any excitement for Texas game. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see them play.
I'm gonna watch that whole game.
They're quietly reserved.
First time in 8 years not at the game opener. For I guess he's saying himself. Okay.
You're working during that game?
Yeah, I'll be working.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch that whole game.
It'll be on. I probably won't be able to watch it. But
So you don't think any of those freshman quarterbacks will get in at all?
For
Well,
Texas?
the line is 43. So
That's what we talked
they
about before. It would be this game.
yeah, it would be this game if they're going to get in. If they can make 43, then yeah, we're going to see some.
Which
young
one gets
quarterbacks.
in? Which one gets in?
Hudson
It's
Card.
Hudson Card.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Just because of the injury thing?
Not even. I don't
I
think.
think it's just going to be him because of the name. It's in Austin. He's close to Lake Travis and blah blah blah.
And blah blah blah.
But then,
he's gonna
How many
leave.
more cliches could I bring up? And that's where I'm kind of.
But
just
that's where it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. He's gonna leave.
It's the
other
narrative.
guy. The Duncanville guy's gonna leave
Really?
I think so. I think it transfers.
Wow.
because it's even if they walked in the door at the same time with the same amount of health, it was Hudson Card's job to lose.
Okay.
And they didn't.
Fair enough.
I think what's his name?
But didn't you like?
Decarius Jackson.
No,
Who?
the Duncanville guy.
Didn't you like him?
What is his name?
How do you not?
It's Jackson.
How do you guys not know this? Because I don't know it.
If it's not Decarius, I don't know how you made that up. That's a tough
I
one.
like making stuff up.
Oh man, you guys are hilarious.
Like you just asked me, like I'm gonna know.
I thought because we.
But he was your dude, Jaquindon.
wasn't.
Jaquindon Jackson. Yeah.
That was your dude too.
No, yeah,
Jaquindon Jackson was your homie.
He's better. I think he's better than Hudson Card.
Okay.
I would rather see him play quarterback at UT than Hudson Card.
That's why we just go with last names.
But I think he's going to leave because I think they've already they crowned Hudson Card as the next UT quarterback a couple years ago.
No,
You think so?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Charles
I
Wright
think
might have
so.
something to say about that.
Yeah. Shout out to
don't
Charles
think
Wright. Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know. Stephen also said Shaka benefited from the COVID too. So
He has hair. He has
Shaka's
hair.
smart.
Yeah, Snoop showed me. Shaka Smart got hair now.
Word up. Because of the COVID? Because of the quarantine?
I guess.
Quarantine.
That's what happens when you put hand sanitizer in your bald head. Grow hair.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Are you speaking from experience?
Nope. I have a lot of hair, Paul.
That's my point.
Oh, yeah. We all have a pretty good set of hair over here. We got some good genes. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 107. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucero, college football on tap. Starting tomorrow, and then we got week 2 coming up. NBA playoffs happening right meow. Overtime. In the second overtime, the Celtics are up 110-108. For some reason, Wes isn't on here to give us updates, but shout out to Wes. Celtics are trying to close this thing out. Up 3-2. There's still 3 minutes left to go here in this game. And then you see the Clippers and Nuggets starting game 4 in the first quarter. Clippers are up 9-3. Clippers, of course, leading that series 2-1. Lakers win yesterday 112-102, go up 2-1, and they are playing tomorrow night at 6:00. Trying to go up against that NFL football game as well. The NFL game don't start till about 7:30, so you can get the first half, and then everybody's
We watch it from my game cast and be like, all right, we're
Then
gonna watch the pregame,
and then everybody's gonna watch the football game. So Celtics Raptors. So I mean, I think we all had. I don't know who was it that had the theory that NBA was like, oh, Lakers Celtics just to get.
Wasn't me.
Wouldn't you?
Wasn't me.
Huh.
Was that a dream you had?
No.
An epiphany, maybe?
Was it you?
No. Maybe it was me.
Maybe it was you. See?
Lakers and Celtics, I mean, it's just like my MLB, pick. It's like they want the Yankees and Dodgers.
You're just going with the legacy teams.
They want the so
Aren't the
they can
Yankees
get.
about to not make the playoffs.
There's a good chance that they might not, and so the Astros too. But the Yankees more because of injuries. Well, Astros has injuries too, but yeah, I mean, I just really think that Lakers Celtics would be huge for the NBA and this whole bubble thing. I feel like the bubble and has kind of helped the viewership though. I mean, I've been more interested in the NBA playoffs. I mean, before I haven't really cared until like the finals, or if the Spurs were playing. But I think I've been more involved in the NBA playoffs only because, and I talked to Snoop about this the other day, because there's no crowd. I feel like that the camera angles that they can get are much better. Some of the the true view that they talk about. Just being able to kind of just put you right on the court because there's no crowd there to worry about. Yeah, you don't have to worry about blocking anybody's view or anything. I feel like, and then of course you have all the audio that you can hear. They have it on delay.
Yeah,
but you can still hear the guys talking, and I feel like the viewership for me, the viewer experience is enhanced in the bubble for me personally.
Yeah, not for me, man. Like I miss the pageantry of like people going on the road or people coming home and having that kind of energy from the crowd. To me it's been like sorely missed.
It's a different game for sure.
Yeah, and so like for me it's really foreign because we really haven't experienced this, but like if you compare it to football, like when I watched that BYU Navy game the other day, I was like, man, this is boring because this is an ass whipping and there's like nobody cheering, nothing really going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that energy in sports, like we've talked a little bit about it, how like if there's a lull where players can't get hyped for whatever reason and they have to like come back in game 2 to get that energy back. You just, to me, it's missing a lot of energy and like I'm not really down with that. I just don't like it.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Zach?
I think it's more help the viewership just because there's nothing else on.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Not the anything about the production like I'm talking about. No.
I mean, maybe that's retaining viewership, but I think you're getting more people to turn the game on because it's
Just because it's on. And I do you believe that not having the home court advantage had anything to do with the Miami Heat taking down the Milwaukee Bucks 4-1? The Heat winning yesterday 103-94.
Yeah, because there's no energy. And same thing with the Rockets. Like, I think they stole game 1 against the Lakers because the Lakers were just like, oh, we're here. Let's just play real quick. And I think that if that would have been in L.A. or, Miami's – who did Miami play again?
The
Bucks.
Yeah, if Giannis is, like, healthy, which he was probably for game 1 and 2, they probably win those games, and it's a series.
Aaron Rodgers sitting courtside. Come on.
Bro.
I don't think the Bucks had it in them. I don't know. Ever since that interview where Giannis was like, no, why would I try to guard him?
Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't think they cared.
Do you think Giannis was hurt before the series?
I don't know. I just don't think they cared. I mean, even in like the what do you call them, like the seeding games in the bubble, like the Bucks were losing to people they shouldn't be losing to then.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, and that's what I don't get. I mean, why didn't they not care? I mean, were they just wanting to get out of the bubble? I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
It's weird, and that's why like there's this whole thing. And I think I talked about it last week where there was a lot of pundits that I was listening to that were saying that Giannis just didn't have that dog in him. He doesn't have that, that fight in him. He's not the type of player to take over a game, or maybe he needs to develop his game more, to develop a jump shot or some kind of move or, some kind of signature move other than just, getting to the bucket.
But isn't that easy to say of like when somebody's losing? I mean, it's easy to be critical on, but what about all the things that he's done right so far? That's where sometimes like I don't really get where these guys are coming from. It's like, you want to call this because they didn't win, so you're going to find an excuse of why he's not great. I don't know. I just don't really I don't put a lot of credence into that because maybe he wasn't healthy and maybe that injury exposed itself in game 3 and, we had what we had for the end of the round. And so those guys will never know. Giannis isn't going to talk about it. Athletes don't talk about it. Like Cam Newton didn't talk about his injuries to where he was sidelined pretty much for a year. And for the 2 years before that, he didn't perform. Well, you're not going to perform when you're hurt.
Yeah, true. That's very true. So, I mean, do we expect the Bucks to come back next year and, have this? Will they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals next year?
Isn't it like a contract year for Giannis next year?
It is.
I think I don't know.
I don't know if he's going to be there.
Because, I mean, if he is there, do you play better in your contract year or do you just try to stay healthy and get paid?
I mean, I would think you would play better.
I would think you would too.
Yeah.
Because you want a bigger contract.
Yeah,
you
want that.
Round.
Yeah. You want that big old. I mean, do the Kawhi, win a championship and go somewhere else.
Right, and that's what I think. Maybe the Bucks are worried about that. Like maybe we should just get rid of him now because maybe we don't think we're gonna be a champion. So deal him out.
Well, I mean, if you're definitely not gonna be a champion if you don't have Giannis on the team.
But what if you get value for that? I mean, that's why the GMs make their money.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Raptors up now, 121-117 with 38 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Trying to push this one to a game 7. The champs, Toronto Raptors, playing like champs right now. Clippers up 18-7 there in the first quarter. That's and I talked to Wes the other day. Wes was like, well, there goes my Nuggets get swept prediction, but I mean, it still could be a 4-1. It might not be a sweep, but it could still be a 4-1 win, series win for the Clippers. It's only 2-1 right now, so they'd have to get a couple more games. But the Clippers, early. Basketball's so funny, man. Especially, NBA basketball is so funny. I mean, teams can be up by 25, in the third quarter and then end up losing. So, can't really say much about an 18-7 ball game. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 107. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto. Tomorrow night, Thursday night.
Hey, y'all think the games are going by faster? The NBA games?
Meaning?
Like, do you think like the run, like the game is shorter?
Oh, like
I feel like it's going by
Time-wise?
faster. Yeah, I feel like it's going by faster. And if you think about it, it could make sense because a
No.
lot of times you call timeout based on the crowd.
well,
Like if one
they
team is going on a
still-
run and the crowd is going crazy, you call a timeout to try to take the crowd out.
They're
of it.
still calling timeout when there's a run though.
Yeah, but I think it's less. I wonder if there's like a statistic of that somewhere.
I would have to look it up, but I don't think so, man. Because I've been watching these games and like whenever there's like a run, like a mini run, there's always timeouts called.
But I feel like I've been watching these games and like
You
I feel like in the past, like you'll watch one game in like multiple sittings
Mm.
because it just takes so long. But like I've been like watching games in like a sitting.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I did want to. Golly, when was it? Was it Saturday night? The Raptors Celtics game. It was kind of weird. I was working, but I was watching. There was like 15 seconds left to go, and the Raptors were only up by 7 points, and the Celtics just let them like dribble it out. I did not get that. I mean, 7 points, 15 seconds. I mean, I think they might have had, if they didn't have any timeouts, I get that. I think they might have had 1 or 2 timeouts. I mean, or even just, you play the whole foul and make them make free throws thing. But they let them Celtics just let them dribble the ball out with 15 seconds left. I didn't get it at all. I was like, so it's 7 points. It's 3 shots. It's 2 stops. Make a shot, stop, make a shot, stop. It was totally weird. Then that makes me think, conspiracy theory, this is all set up so they can get to Game 7.
It could be just to get in more viewership.
Anyways, speaking of more viewership, NBA is trying to go up against the NFL tomorrow. Lakers and Houston game starts at 6:00. That's going to be on TNT. And, of course, the Texans and the Chiefs kicking off NFL 2020. Arrowhead Stadium. Tomorrow, 7:20 is the kickoff. Probably more close to 7:30, right?
Yeah, probably 7:30.
Yeah.
Maybe 7:35.
Something like that. Kansas City Chiefs are a 9-point favorite.
9-point favorite, yep.
And what was the over-under? You said 53 or 54?
54.5.
54.5. Kansas City Chiefs, do they cover 9 points, Paul Rodriguez?
Man, because we didn't play preseason, because they didn't play preseason, I think all of these numbers are just
You think it's going to
shots
be
in the dark.
You're going to be under, though?
I think it's going to be under.
Yeah.
And I think that
Should we go under like on all the NFL games this week and see how we do?
I don't think that would be smart.
See how we do? Just go
Yeah, I
under.
wonder if there's like a what the bet is to say under for all the games.
Like a parlay.
But like if there's like just one bet that says like every game will be under.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called a
that's
parlay.
Really?
Yeah.
But I thought parlay was only like a couple games, not every game for the whole season.
It's more than 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
2 or is it more than 2? 2 or more? Oh, no, it's more than 2.
It's more than 2.
3 or more.
Right.
Yeah. That would be.
I think the game goes under on the 54.5, but I think they score 10 to win.
So Chiefs cover.
Yeah, the Chiefs cover the 9. Yeah.
So I have both of those quarterbacks in different leagues, but I got Mahomes and so I have 3 leagues. My quarterbacks are Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes.
Good for you.
Right?
Good for you.
That's pretty
Did
good.
you draft Mahomes?
I did.
Oh, okay.
So
I
Sunday,
thought this was going to be your.
no. So Sunday I was the 10th. Was I 10th or 12? I don't know. How many teams are in this league? Sunday I was working, and I thought I was like, oh yeah, I'll put my phone right here. I'll be able to dude, we got slammed, and so I was able
Those
to make
first rounds go by so fast.
Yeah, I was able to. No, so I was only making my first 2 picks, and I was back to back because I was at the end of the first round, and I went Julio Jones. Snoop says 2 or more for the parlay.
That's what we said.
I think we said 3 or more.
No, you said
2 or
more than
more.
2.
Okay, 2 or more. Thanks, Snoop.
2 or more. All right. So, anyways, so I was able to make my first 2 picks, which was Julio Jones. I was going to go wide receiver, but I was like Julio Jones, and I was like, I'm at the end of the first round, beginning of second. Let me get the number 1 quarterback because he was still there. So I went Julio Jones, Mahomes, and then I had to auto draft the rest of the thing. So it sucked. The rest of my team's pretty much terrible. But you never know. I mean, it's an auto draft, so a lot of times. I mean,
Statistically speaking, you got the best players you could get.
Yeah, I guess. But
I think the Texans are going to blow them out.
What?
David Johnson and Will Fuller are going to go crazy because I drafted them in like every single league. So I think they're going to do good.
I got $5 on that. I'll bet you $5 right now.
Hold on, where's my wallet? I got $5 too. $5 on I'll put Kansas City Chiefs.
Will Fuller, David Johnson. Shout out to those guys.
Why did
David Johnson or Duke Johnson?
Duke
No,
Johnson.
David Johnson.
Oh, yeah, David Johnson's there too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Why would you?
Because they're both the main people there now.
Because he's an expert at fantasy. That's why.
No, that would be you, Paul. You're an expert on everything.
I did horribly in our draft.
No, I just feel like Will Fuller is now like I like drafting people that are the number one target at their place, especially if there's not like a similar number two. Like Will Fuller is hands down the best receiver in
When he's
in
not
Houston
hurt, when
now.
he's not hurt.
Well, obviously, I think anybody would be the best, be better when they're not hurt.
He's gonna pull his hamstring on the very first go route that he runs.
the very
and
first
then
go
David
route.
Johnson is now the main running back in Houston as well. So hopefully he gets a bunch of carries and Will Fuller gets a bunch of targets. Is my logic basically.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, there's limited in-person attendance at this game.
I thought there wasn't anybody allowed.
That's what it says right here. It says
Okay, great.
limited
Yeah,
in-person
good.
attendance. So, hopefully there's a little bit.
Good.
I wonder if they're going to pump in crowd noise.
I would think so. Yeah,
Right.
I would think so.
But wouldn't that be kind of cheating?
Hell yeah.
So I don't. Yeah.
It's COVID, man. Everything's gonna be cheating this year. Deflated balls, people filming each other. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. So Houston Texans at Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out to the Texans fans out there. Are we Texans fans? Anybody?
King Kalunga won.
Oh yeah, King Kalunga. Did he get his
There's no season tickets this year.
no season tickets? Okay. So all right. So Snoop says make some recon DraftKings showdown lineups. Yeah, we can try to do that. Who would your captain be?
Probably Will Fuller or David Johnson.
And you know what? He'd probably win with that too. As ridiculous
Maybe.
as ridiculous as that is.
It could.
Because all it really would take would be like all of a sudden Will Fuller has 2 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which could happen.
Yeah, good.
Which could really happen.
It really could.
And then on the third go route, he pulls his hamstring.
Yep.
And is out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe we should make one of those. Showdown tomorrow night. Who you got as a captain?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I would have to.
Do y'all think the Edwards-Helaire guy is going to do as good as he's projected to?
No.
I don't think so either.
Paul?
I'm gonna have to agree, Chris.
Really?
I'm surprised.
Really?
I'm surprised you said no.
Why? Because everybody says yes, right?
Because everybody thinks that he's gonna be this year's like he's gonna be Austin Eckler 2.0.
But
Right.
Like what Kansas City Chiefs running back are they comparing him? Like what have the Kansas City Chiefs done at running back that makes people think
I mean,
he's going to do better?
I think I think it's more of like, oh, because he's on the Kansas City Chiefs and they're such a offensive juggernaut that, he's going to get, his fair share. But
almost like he's gonna pick up from last year at LSU.
Yeah, but I mean it's like but people, I think what people are forgetting is how many targets the Kansas City Chiefs have. Like, I mean,
You mean weapons?
weapons, yeah. I
And
mean,
he wasn't
like,
even like that highly touted at LSU.
Yeah,
either.
I mean, but like you said, like Paul, you said,
Like if you auto draft,
everybody-
like you'll pick him like second overall almost.
everybody is all over that dude.
Do you
And-
think if Damian Williams doesn't have as good of a Super Bowl as he did, that people have as much hype about Edwards-Helaire? Because I think that's playing a lot into it. Is people are if you think of Kansas City running backs, you think of Damian Williams almost winning MVP of the Super Bowl.
I mean, the last really Kansas City Chief running back I think of is what, Kareem Hunt.
That's who I think of first.
I mean, but I mean, when you think about Kansas City Chiefs, I'm not thinking about their running backs. I'm thinking about Tyreek Hill. I'm thinking about Travis Kelce.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
had
I'm
like
thinking about
picks
McCall
4, 5, and
Michael
6,
Hardeman.
if you had like picks 4, 5, and 6 in a draft and auto drafted, it could possibly give you 3 Chiefs players in a row.
Yeah, that's true. I just think that
Which doesn't make any sense. Four Chiefs players
Yeah.
if you include Mahomes.
I just think that as far as like the depth chart, you say who's most likely to score a touchdown. He's like the third in the lineup Don't you think?
I would have to say third,
Yeah.
and it's just because Mahomes can get the ball to anybody.
Yeah.
That's the other crazy thing is like if you think he's going to have 25 carries in a game, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And if
So-
you think he's going to be like carrying the ball with a lot of success, I don't think his run style really translates to the NFL very well.
I mean, he just like Kansas City's not. They're not built like that.
They're
You
not
know?
a power run team. No.
No. So Snoop says that Darrell Williams is a sleeper. So
There you go.
there you go. Yeah.
Darrell
so,
Williams, who's that? That's not like a newscaster.
I mean, Darrell Williams. It's Darrell Williams, guys. I mean, Snoop says it. Or is it Damian Williams?
It's Damian Williams.
Damian Williams.
Nah, look up Darrell Williams. Let's see.
Let's look up
see
Darrell
what Darrell
Williams.
Williams.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe yeah, dude. Come on, y'all. Yeah, Darrell Williams. Yeah. James Robinson, Darrell Williams headlined the first post-draft group. Yep, Darrell Williams. I remember you don't remember Darrell Williams?
Yeah.
No.
No, from Vanderbilt, right?
Chiefs trust Darrell Williams in all aspects of the game. So
I love Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams.
That's going to be on Snoop's DraftKings.
Snoop's captain right there.
His DraftKings roster tomorrow.
That's gonna be his. That's gonna be his captain.
His sleeper, yeah. That's going to cause him to win $10,000.
It sure is. All right, let me pull up our.
Louisiana State. Undrafted in 2018.
Let's pull up our week 3 high school football. Big game of the week. Wimberley, number 4 Wimberley versus number 3 Lampasas. Is this the game you said got sold out?
No, that's the other one.
The other one? Matthew Tippy's got 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception for Wimberley. Christian Marshall, who is has a big fan in BJ, has 8 catches, 210 yards, and 5 touchdowns in 2 weekends. And Juan Almedo, hey, what's up, Juan? 19 carries, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, you don't ever see a whole lot of Hispanic
Bro, they're
running
Wimberley,
backs.
bro.
Running backs, I mean, what was the dude in Lake Travis that went back to Mexico and then got stuck there? Remember that dude?
No comment.
That
Are
dude?
you talking about that dude from that running back from Baylor?
Nah, he was a
Remember that
Lake.
dude?
He was
Was
a
that his
Lake.
name like Nacho or something like that?
The dude was a Lake Travis. Who was that dude? Hit me up, Snoop. Lampasas, of course, Ace Whitehead. That's everybody's favorite name. He's 31-44, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Michael Murray's got 12 catches, 103 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then Jax Jerome, 50 carries, 322 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a lot of carries for 2 games.
Yeah, Ace Whitehead is like right behind him in rushing yards as well. So like Ace Whitehead is like extremely dual threat.
Yeah, he's only missed like 10 throws the whole year.
It's out of 2
Jeez.
games. Out of 2 games.
Yeah. So Wimberley and Lampasas, Texans against the Badgers. Paul Rodriguez, what do you think about this? Predictions.
Owen Seaver and Sosa Sakimi, the defensive linemen, are really going to have to play tremendously well to kind of corral Juan Olmedo and especially Moses Ray to kind of keep that ball through the air, going to Christian Marshall and Ty Pruitt. So if they can do that and force Tippy to get the ball out quick, I think that Lampasas will dominate. Shout out to Papa Romeo. We have a little side wager going on.
What is that?
He likes Wimberley, and I like Lampasas to dominate. And
Are y'all betting some Christ Market?
no, we're just
What's
a
the-
little
what's the spread?
fatherly, sonly bet.
What's the spread on that?
We'll give the details. Oh, I don't know what the spread is because I don't bet on high school football like that.
You just said you were betting on high school football literally 2 seconds ago.
Like I said, we're not betting like that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have the ability to break down games like that. I do, but I just didn't want to do it here.
Yeah.
But I like Lampasas.
Okay.
Do you want my prediction?
Yeah, prediction.
We're going to wait for Zach to see what he thought about it.
He's saying that to me because he's gonna think I don't know anything.
No, I know you
So
know.
he's trying to like outshine me. But I
don't
watching
have to.
watching Wimberley in that game one in
Man,
that first game that
sensitive.
first week that like came down to that goal line stop that like greatly like hurt my opinion on Wimberley. I think that was a game that if they were going to be like the Wimberley that like a lot of people thought they were going to be coming off of a state championship run last year, I think they would have put that game away and it wouldn't have been as close as it was. And And I think Lampasas just has too much firepower for Wimberley. So I'm going with Lampasas as well. I would probably take Paul's dad up on the bet as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so last week Wimberley really didn't perform that well against Cuero when they were in Cuero, and it really took the third quarter for Wimberley to get back on track to kind of take that lead. They did finish it 33-14, but they really had to depend on Juan Olmedo to kind of get that ball to the goal line. And once he was there, he was able to convert. And that's really when he racked up his 2 touchdowns. But I like Lampasas big. I'm taking Lampasas 62, Wimberley 21.
Dang.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a while until Lampasas doesn't score a lot of points. Like, I think they're going to...
It's going to come down to LBJ where they don't score a lot of points.
Or they both score a lot of points that game. It's going to be like Lampasas just has too much offense, especially for like 4A football. That's that's a high powered offense.
Yeah. And the other game that we're gonna preview, this is the one that's sold out, right? For how many tickets they're allowed to sell. Rockdale versus Lexington. Lexington, number 6. Rockdale versus number 8. Lexington. Rockdale leaders through 2 games. Kobe Mitchell, 341 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Kashawn Ravens got 10 catches, 159 yards, and 5 total touchdowns. Wow. Anthony Dansby's got 7 catches, 189 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Cameron Valdez has got 220 yards on 22 carries and 4 touchdowns for Rockdale. Lexington, Shelby Springer's got 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Jeremiah Jackson's 9 grabs, 86 yards, and a touchdown. And rushing for Lexington, Jared Kerr, 26 carries, 375 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Rockdale versus Lexington. Paul Rodriguez. Breakdown.
Jared Kerr, man, he's the man, but I think it's going to be him leaning on his offensive line. Lane Keller, Juan Lada. Those 2 guys I think you should really check out. And then as well, I have here in my notes, Ian White. That offensive front I think is really going to be pivotal to get movement against Rockdale. I think they'll be able to do that. But with guys like Cameron Valdez, Kashawn Raven, 4-star, 3-star respectively, I like Rockdale in this matchup. I just think there's too much offense. And then we can't forget about Kobe Mitchell, the quarterback who replaced Jace Robinson at the helm for the Rockdale Tigers. He's explosive as well. Another guy you may want to watch out is Anthony Ty Dansbury. That dude is like 6'4", 210. Huge weapon on the outside. So I like Rockdale in this matchup. A little bit closer than people may think. I'm going 35-14 for the Rockdale Tigers.
I think watching Rockdale, especially that quarterback, like you said, Paul, like just watching him play, you would never know that he wasn't the day one starter. I mean, some of the throws he was making, like his frame at the position for like lower level, like lower division football like that. I mean, he could start at be the day one starter at a lot of schools that they're playing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how Taylor ranks in their kind of area, but Rockdale looked dominant over them. Like physically, like they just looked like they were in different classifications. I mean, Rockdale, I feel like is physically a pretty big team for their division. I think they have the size, kind of like you said, especially on the offensive line as well. So I would go with Rockdale as well.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting you bring that up because Taylor is actually a 4A school. They're a small 4A, and Rockdale's a big 3A. And so to kind of see that disparity is kind of interesting. But, Taylor, they have a really great quarterback too, and Bryson Bass. And
they shut him down.
He's just a sophomore. Yeah, and he just didn't have enough protection to kind of carry the load. But you saw all the weapons on display against Taylor, and I think they're going to do the same thing against Lexington. Now that game is in Lexington. If you can figure out a way to get there, maybe you can watch from the chain link fence because apparently you're not getting in the way the tickets are sold out right now. But best of luck to both those programs, and you should be able to watch that online. I'm sure someone's going to have that streaming, and I know the Lampasas game is going to be on KBVO.
And it's KBVO on Friday?
Yes, KBVO.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Kerr kid, what's his first name?
Jared Kerr.
Jared Kerr. I feel like in smaller classification football like that, we saw it a couple years ago with Jordan Whittington.
Yeah.
Like all it takes is one player.
Yep.
You can single-handedly win a game at that level. So I think because of that, you can't rule out Lexington at all. Because I mean, we could open the Statesman on Saturday morning and see that he had like 500 total yards of offense, and they won by himself.
Yeah, another couple of names to remember for Lexington is their quarterback Sheldon Springer, and he's a junior as well. And don't forget, he'll be throwing to his big target, Jeremiah Jackson, who has an incredible long catch that he had from last weekend. But these smaller 3A teams are going to put on a show, just as those 4A teams as well. And we're having similar matchups, like in the 4A matchup. It's a big 4A against a small 4A. Lampasas is the bigger of the two, and then tomorrow on Friday night, Rockdale, and Lexington. Rockdale is the bigger of the 3A schools. So those rankings are a little. There's some disparity in between there. Just so you know, within the classification, there's two divisions. So, but respectively, they're very good teams in their own right.
And we did definitely want to mention the 4A matchup also. Waco La Vega, number 2 Waco La Vega versus Cal Allen. Friday, 7:30 at San Marcos Rattler Stadium. If you're down in that area, that'd be a good game to go to. Shout out to Justice McClure, my cousin. Cal Allen did win last week. I forgot what the score was, but they lost the first game of the season, which is rare for them to lose a regular season ball game.
They played a very, very high-powered Cornerstone Christian Academy. So that school is led by a 4-star quarterback in Lucas Coley. So no love lost there, but also he's also committed to play at Arkansas. So, but in their own right, Ty Buchanan, the offensive lineman for Cal Allen, is getting Power 5 school offers. So Cal Allen does have plenty of talent as well. So great matchup if you're in that Hays County area. If you can't make it to Lampasas as a Wimberley fan, shoot on over to San Marcos and watch a big game between number 2 La Vega and Cal Allen.
All right, lots of football talk.
Is there a Thursday KBPO game?
No, not this week. Not that I'm aware of, no.
No, I don't think so. Zach Luceto, other topics as assigned. You want to talk about anything from?
No, I didn't get to watch 2 episodes of Top Boy, so I gotta wait till Saturday.
I think I'm on episode 6. I started watching.
Yeah, we should. The next time we discuss should be 5 and 6.
What did I start watching recently? Oh, season 2 of The Boys came out. So a superhero one on Amazon.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's good. And what else?
Did you start watching Top Boy yet, Paul? No.
I haven't watched any movies lately, so
I think we should rent. I think we should do the Alamo Drafthouse thing and rent out the theater and watch Tenet.
Watch what?
Tenet.
What's that premise about that movie?
Can you still do that? I thought they were open now.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was cool to that they were letting people do that, and it wasn't like that expensive either.
Well, let's look it up.
I'd rather do that than just get a regular seat.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Oh, thanks, Snoop. Snoop says strong presentation tonight. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I guess we'll just do some shout outs now.
Shout out. Shout out.
Is that a Sideways S?
Yeah. No, shout out that coaster.
Shout out the coaster. Paul Rodriguez, shout out.
Shout out to the family, Recon and my own family. Man, I'm happy, guys. I know it's football season, and I'm just stoked for it. And the reason I'm happy is because it's so limited. And
yeah.
I didn't think we were going to have it, but I'm grateful.
Yeah, me too. Of course, shout out to our sponsors, Kreitz Market and Texas Point Outdoors. Make sure you go to check out Texas Point Outdoors on Instagram and TexasPointOutdoors.com. And Reed also, he got a new thing going, man. He's got this new
What's he got?
Live Oak Guitar Company.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some, man, he's a businessman. I was like, dude, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
He needs to sponsor us now with that one. Shout out to Kalunga over at Kreitz Market. Make sure you hit up John Kalunga if you need some Kreitz Market barbecue delivered anytime, anywhere.
I had Kreitz yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Bro.
Went down?
So, had me the burn ends off the brisket.
Okay.
I had them like clip that slice. Usually they'll toss that out for to make sausage.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, bro, leave that in there.
Word up.
I need that.
All right, I'm going to shout out to God. Shout out to my parents, of course. Shout out to Zach and Paul. Zach is over there already eating post-show tacos. Shout out to Snoop. Shout out to Flex ATX. And, of course, everybody that was on our watch party tonight. We'll see you Saturday morning. We'll talk a little bit more college football and do some NFL previews as well. Paul Rodriguez, do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all enjoyed the podcast, subscribe and comment down below. And go to YouTube and subscribe there. And we'll let you know when we upload. We out.